Hello, Kelly.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this YouTube channel where we give voices to the mothers, the fathers, the families that they have been ripped away from their kids. We give voice to the children that don't have a voice because forced adoption fostering is a business. Kelly is a very strong mother, and Kelly Jefferies is here to give voice to her son. Kelly, I have heard your story. We have spoken before this video for me to learn about your story. And you guys, believe it or not, Kelly has lost a son because she decided to homeschool your son.
Correct. Yeah,
Kelly,
that was one of the reasons, yeah.
we are going to go through the story because I'm sure that they cannot understand how someone can lose a son because she decides to homeschool. Kelly, we're talking about Knox, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. My son Knox. And if he's watching, I just want to say, if you come across this video, Knox, that I will continue fighting for you and I love you very much, little man. I'm so proud of you.
Knox, you have a very strong mother and she's fighting for you. Kelly, let's go back to the beginning, please, and explain us how this has happened.
Well, Knox was born £1.11 and he spent 6 months of his life fighting in NICU. So he didn't have the best start in life. But he came in on oxygen and he's a really strong boy and he survived. So he's a little fighter. And I've always taken good care of him as a mother.
I'm sure.
Yeah. The consultant at the hospital told me most winters he would be on oxygen again, maybe admitted to hospital, but that was never the case. So I fed him well, fed him healthy, and his lungs grew, and he became a strong boy. So he was never admitted to hospital again.
Okay. Well,
so that proves that my care for him and love was, pure dedication.
Yes.
In my eyes, it does anyway.
Of course. Yes.
So
Kelly, your son, when he's in the school, and we're going to talk about around the lockdown because that's when the things that have happened. So before lockdown, where is Knox? How he's doing in the school?
So before the lockdown, Knox was always behind at school because obviously he was pre-prem, only £1.11, so his development was way behind his peers, which in my opinion is understandable. So I just took it steady and I wasn't too worried about it. But they, pressure you all the time. He's not speaking the same as his peer, his language is behind, this is behind. They pressure you to get a diagnosis of ADHD or some kind of diagnosis, autism or something like that. So he was diagnosed with ADHD when he was 6.
Can you explain what is that? ADHD?
It's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And the reason they diagnosed him with that was because he was delayed in his speech. So he used to sit on a table in the classroom on his own, which I didn't believe was acceptable.
What do you mean? So he didn't have a teacher, or he didn't have...
Well, yeah, he had a teacher. So there's a teacher in the class, and maybe, they've got 30 children in the class. So because Knox is behind, he can't read or write, he's delayed, he may have become destructive in class. So they put him on a table in the corner on his own because he couldn't keep up with his peers, with the work. So he was doing work that was 3 years behind them.
Have you asked the school why he was not in the special class, or if there was not a teacher?
Yeah, numerous of times I did, numerous times.
What did they say to you?
I wanted the SEND teacher to put him into a special school or do something, you know, to help bring him up to the standard of his peers, but they just didn't seem interested, and they kind of indicated that they may do something when he reached high school. And in my opinion, that was too late, because once they reach high school, they're more interested in their friends and their education. So I wanted something done before.
So they never gave you a solution?
No. So right before the lockdown, I started doing it myself. I'd done a subject access request to request all the documents from his schooling, and I started doing it myself. And then the lockdown happened. And then during the lockdown, I taught him to read and write. So from not being able to read at all to not being able to put, like, say, 3 or 4 words together, he could do a little sentence and read. So every time we were outside, you know, in the car, travelling, I would say, oh, what does that word say, Knox? Or what does that say? And then he would, like, I think he'd become familiar with words rather than understanding phonics. So he didn't understand phonics, or at that time anyway. He didn't understand, you know.
So how old is he back then when that?
When the lockdown came, he was 9 years old.
9 years old, and he was diagnosed with ADHD at 6 years old, correct?
Yeah, 6 years old.
Okay. So lockdown happens. Everyone has to stay at home. The kids, they do not go to the school.
Yeah.
And then what did you realize?
Well, I realised that one-to-one learning with Knox was more, you know, without the background noise, like, say, 29 kids in the room. It was more efficient, you know, he was able to concentrate, he was more, you know, willing to learn, engage.
Yeah. But what I want to make the audience aware is that he is 9 years old and he cannot read. During the lockdown, you ask him to read, and he's 9 years old and he cannot read.
No, he could not read or write. Okay. And I did read books with him. Before we went to school, we were sat outside in the car, and I would read books with him. But he wasn't understanding phonics. The way they taught him, he did not understand. So, you know, when they blend the words in, the sounds, he wasn't understanding that. So he was just reading the words, and I reckon that he was memorising them.
Okay.
Rather than understanding the phonics, you know, blending of the A, B, C.
So now when there is love and you are doing the homework with him, you are studying with him, you are developing the skills of your son during the lockdown, what did you realize then?
Yeah, I realised quite a lot about my son, really. We did a lot of artwork because I think he found that therapeutic. I think he found school hard, and he was anxious with anxiety. So he would get into trouble. And the teacher never always told me that he was in trouble during the day.
Kelly, let me interrupt you in there. If I would be in a school with 30 kids, and if my own teacher would put me on the corner of the room, I'm sure that I would be anxious. I'm sure that there is probably bullying, because the other kids...
You did get bullied, yeah?
Because the other kids, they... You know, that kid is different. Is less.
Knox was different, yeah, he is different. But I would say he is different. He's kind of unique, like, he's got a bit of, like, eccentricness about him, like a little old man.
And the
so he was different, and he did get bullied.
Yeah, and the children can be very nasty.
One time, Knox reported back to me that a boy smashed his head into the wall. But it's not a concrete wall, it was like plasterboard wall, but it's not the point, is it?
Has the school contacted you when that happened?
Yeah, Knox told me.
No, but the school. Has the school contacted you?
Knox told me, not the school.
Okay. Did your son needed any special treatment? No.
No.
No, but they didn't inform
like I said, it wasn't a concrete wall, it was plasterboard, but he still had to go through the trauma of another child grabbing his head and pushing it into the wall. Well, he said he smashed his head into the wall, Mum. And then another time he came out of school and I noticed Knox having a go at this boy. And I thought, why is he doing that? And I said, why are you shouting at this boy? And he said, he's the one that smashed my head into the wall, Mum. And I said, there's a time and place, you don't deal with it like this. So we spoke to the teacher about it then. But whenever Knox was naughty, they didn't tell me always about it. Yeah. So when I'd done the subject access request, there was about 2 pages, both sides, of reports of Knox being naughty.
Yeah, but they don't let you know? You cannot deal with the problem? And there is something cooking on your son. That's why now, on the lockdown, you notice that your son is anxious.
Yeah. So, I said to the teacher, the head teacher actually, I need to know when Knox is naughty on the day so I can address the issue there and then, not like 2 years or 3 years later. Because there were some things written on there that I've never even heard of before.
Yeah. So now,
do you know what I mean?
During the lockdown, you are giving attention to your son, you are helping him to read, and how does that go?
Yeah, so he could read, and he was quite proud of that. His writing improved. I would sit there and do writing with him. I didn't spend, say, 8 hours a day doing home education because he couldn't read. So, and because he's got ADHD, or allegedly he's got concentration problems, he finds it difficult to engage for long periods of time. He needs to do small bursts of learning, not like 4 hours solid, and 4 hours in the afternoon. So we did like a variety of things. So I would take him to the park on his scooter. We'd do some woodwork at home. So I was doing some renovations at home. So I would, get him involved in doing stuff what I was doing.
So did you notice any improvement in how long? And which improvement did you notice?
So from March the 17th when we locked down until 6th of September when he was due to go back to school, I noticed a huge improvement.
And what do you mean a huge improvement?
Well, he could read.
He could read?
He could put a sentence together, yeah.
So let me allow me to smile, smirk, laugh, whatever you want to call it. So when your son is in the school with a teacher that is being taught how to teach kids, he actually is 9 years old and he cannot read. And that's now correct, in 6 months at home, in 6 months, he's able to read with a mother that has the love for him, but has not been told the skills, how to do the teaching, how to, because one thing is for you to speak a language, another thing is for you to teach a language.
Yeah.
But you are able to actually put your kid to read in 6 months.
Yeah. And Knox is very creative, so on his tablet, he would take pictures, he loved taking pictures, put music to the picture, and do words on there, and little messages to me, like, Mummy, I love you. It wasn't perfect, but...
So all is required is for someone to actually give attention and teach. Yeah. Not because it's hard, not because it's difficult, not because someone is actually to teach him how to do the things, and he's able to learn.
We basically just I needed more time to delve into the home education because I'd only just started, and to find my way, my feet. But the educational welfare officer were already hanged in me. Yeah. What are you doing with your son, for home education? And they gave me a form to fill out, which I was filling out. I wasn't using their form, I was doing a statement, but they gave me to the 9th of July, I believe, to complete this statement, but they took me to court on the 2nd of July.
No, but Kelly, when your kid goes back to the school, has the teacher said anything regarding the improvement?
He didn't go back to school.
No, he did not. Okay.
No.
So, are you were, I believe you are a single mother, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you are a single mother. And because you saw the huge improvement on your kid, you have the hard decision that the best for your son is what you're going to explain to us now, please. What happened then?
Yes, I took him out of school and thought, I didn't feel that I was going to do it forever, but I just felt like it was best at that time until I looked more into the home education. And then I thought maybe he will go back to school, like to high school.
But have you informed the school, or you just decided and they
Oh, no,
I
wrote to them, yeah. I wrote to them and said he wasn't coming back, yeah.
Okay, did you do in the correct way? Was he...
Apparently not. So I wrote to the school and said he wasn't coming back because someone on the home education group that told me that's what you do. You just write to the school. But apparently you need to deregister them.
So you did it in the way that you thought was the correct way? Because
no.
But you went to try to have some information how to do the things, and you wrote to them believing that it was the correct.
Yes. So I wrote a letter to the school and I believe that was the correct way to do it.
Okay.
And then the educational welfare officer started to contact me, and so I deregistered him correctly with the local authority.
Oh, okay.
And said, yeah, I made a formal letter saying he's been deregistered and we're homeschooling under the legislation.
Okay, so you have to you had contacted the school, but you had not contacted the local authority.
No, I thought that they would do that.
No, okay. So, but anyway, you did it the way you thought it was the correct
yeah.
way. Okay. Yeah. So you have that decision. I'm sure that was not an easy decision, because if you are a single mother and if you decide to homeschool, is another responsibility, but it's the best for your kid, and you decide to do that, and you think that you are doing everything in the correct way. But unfortunately, it seems that it was not, because you did not inform the local authority. You had some problems because of that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
So you received a visitor, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did, yeah. So, yeah. They didn't really give me a chance, They say because he was a special educational needs child, they have to, know everything you're doing, basically, with home education.
So who has visited you?
It was the educational welfare officer, and because I said to her the government was corrupt, she reported me to the GP for mental health issues.
But why that person went to visit you? Because you were homeschooling your kid, but who is this entity? What does that person wanted to know?
She wanted to know what I was doing for homeschooling for nuts.
And I'm sure that you explained everything.
Well, I didn't really see what her authority was, to be fair. So when she turned up at my house unannounced and made out that she couldn't get hold of me by telephone, and I said, where did you get your authority from? So, that's when the problems arose.
So I can see that you are like myself, I would say.
Yeah. So just...
If you are coming to my home, I will
just turn up unannounced at my home. Demanding,
who are you, what do you want, and why you are here, and who called you to come in here,
I guess I could have handled it better in hindsight, but was there any need to maliciously report me to my GP for mental health issues? I didn't say to her at any point that I was suffering with mental health issues and I needed to see a psychiatrist or anything.
But Kelly, still I want to go back on this education welfare officer. Who is this person? And can you explain to us what this person is? Is he a police from the school? Is he going to your home to check if the kid is in there, if you are homeschooling?
They work in the educational department, and their role is to ensure that children attend school. And if they don't attend school, then they penalise you with a fine. So they were threatening to take me to court for not attending school, for non-attendance.
But you were homeschooling, you had the things at home, and you could provide all the information.
Yeah, we were just starting out. Because you have to bear in mind that Knox was only just, learning to read and write. So you're limited to what Knox can do at that stage. It's only been 6 months, yeah? And the work that the school sent home for Knox to do was very difficult. And I thought, how do they expect Knox to sit alone and do this work on his own? There's no way he could do that. He wouldn't understand how to do it. And that explains why, what's it called? Parents' evening, when I looked at Knox's books, they would only be full of a few pages. So for a whole term, his book only had, say, 20 pages full, where he's not able to do the work, whereas other children, their books would be full.
Okay, so
How
long after Knox has been out of the school, since you wrote to the school and this education welfare officer was knocking at your door?
So September the 6th, he didn't go back to school, and then it was March 21 that they started to come round. So it was lessons,
Okay, yeah. So you said that when the guy, or the woman, I don't know, went to your home, there was an exchange of words, and I'm sure that you explain, and it always depends in the way the person goes to your home as well. But you said that you mentioned that the government is corrupt, and because of that, that person reported you with mental issues.
Yeah, well, she kind of knew a few things about me that she shouldn't really know, which was a breach of my data and privacy.
Okay. But let me tell you, nowadays, I think if there is a soul that has not mentioned that the government are corrupt, so let me tell you, I think probably everyone has mental issues according to that statement.
Yeah. According to them, everyone's got mental health issues. I think they just kind of abuse the mental health statement quite a lot.
Yeah. I think they knew about your beliefs, and we don't need to mention everything in here. But as soon as they know that you have strong beliefs about something, they go against you. They want to hurt you. They want to hurt your soul because they know the kind of son you are going to educate, because you are a strong soul. Let me say it like that. And they don't want people neither like you, neither like me. So they target us. And I know that you have a fight, or I wouldn't say a fight, but you have strong beliefs about the mortgage, and I respect that, and I know why you believe that, and they don't like it. They don't like when people are aware of other things and they have strong beliefs about that. They don't like it.
I think the issue was back then is that I knew too much.
No, you just question yourself, right? So you don't go with everyone.
I must have hit the nail on the head somewhere, because the way they've targeted me so hard.
Yeah, so that it's not just because...
So I was questioning their authority over my son.
Yeah.
Where do you get your authority from? Prove your authority over my flesh and blood son.
Yeah, so they didn't.
And when they served alleged court documents on me, I contacted the court, and they had no record of this reference number, so it made me suspicious, and then I questioned their authority even more.
But right, Kelly, so this meeting has happened. The education welfare officer was in your home, and they haven't taken your son straight away, have they?
No.
So what happened until... Okay,
So,
it's going to happen quite a few things still, but can can you go through until that moment happens, please?
So that's what started it. Was I don't want to go delve into the mortgage, but I think the mortgage started it. Then taking Knox out of school, and then they were kind of like using that as excuses. You know, you're a bad mum because you're fighting this, you're fighting that.
So, yeah, so about the mortgage, just for the people to understand, and let's make it clear. So there is quite a few information out there, and there is people that understand that there is ways to do the things, and if there is, I'll say the way I know, if there is a debt, so then prove me that there is a debt, and if you cannot prove me that I owe you money, so then I don't have to pay you nothing at all. And I know people that they have done that, and that is about banks, mortgage, a lot of money. And they don't like the people that they question them, and they don't like people that explain these to the other people, because then there is a huge business that will go down. So they target you because of that. Now, regarding you having mental issues, that's funny, isn't it? That's what when they don't have nothing, that's what they go for.
Well, they have caused me immense distress since they've taken my son.
Of course they have.
Yeah.
So they what happened? Did you go to the GP? Did they ask you to go to a psychologist?
I received a letter from a doctor that I've never heard of before. So as soon as I received the letter, I contacted the doctor, and I was actually on the phone to him for 45 minutes. I've recorded that. And he said, can you come to the surgery today with Knox? So I was like, yeah, sure. So Knox and I went to the surgery for 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the GP seen Knox for an hour. We were there for an hour in the room. And he said that he was happy with everything, and he would write a report. But he never did write a report. He just phoned the educational welfare officer or social services and had a conversation with them over the telephone. And I asked for the conversation, you know, on a memory stick or something, and they didn't comply with the subject access request. They said I didn't have parental responsibility, so I wasn't entitled to it.
But so, do you know if that doctor has written anything bad about you?
No, I don't. So the way I see it is that they're all in collusion with one another to remove children from loving mothers and fathers.
Okay.
Because why did he not write his report like he promised?
Okay.
And why do it over the telephone when it's not on record?
Yeah. And what happened after that doctor
visit? So after that, they started court proceedings to take me to court to see if they needed to take Knox away from me.
Now the interesting thing is, have you ever been to court?
I did go to court in 2016, but that was a housing matter.
So not about your son?
No.
Okay. So, but you just mentioned that the court proceedings, they started.
Yes. So
you don't have your son. So how there was court proceedings and you have never been to court regarding your son?
So basically, I think what they do is they invite you for an interview. I don't know what it is, an interview. I can't remember what it's called. There was 2 meetings anyway where they do fact finding. So, and I was told that was the start of the tribunal. But they make it as like a formal meeting, like, you know, just a little chit chat. But that is actually the start of the tribunal. But they didn't give me the login details to attend.
The login details. So are you saying that you lost your son on video calls, meetings? So the court proceedings were
So they started by they started by Zoom. So the court proceedings were Zoom, which is not lawful. So and they never sent me the Zoom details, so I couldn't log in anyway. And then they just kept coming down like a few times a day, because I live 5 minutes away from the actual hub where they do their business. So they were taking it upon themselves to walk down to my home and knock on my door. And I just felt like I was being harassed and bullied. And when I feel like I'm being harassed and bullied, I will stop engaging, because I feel like I don't want to engage with people that treat me like that. And I see them as like...
It's fear, is protection of your son.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I was getting conflicting advice also. Some people were saying, you never let social services into your home, you don't engage with them. And then other people were saying, oh, you must engage with them.
And do everything that they say.
Yeah, so it was conflicting information, advice. Yeah. So I didn't find that very helpful. It hasn't helped at all.
So this is because still of the lockdown things. That's why you have never been to court. They decide to do the court things through the computer. But they don't give you the login details.
Not for the first 2 meetings, no, they didn't.
But still, all the process you have never.
And then I went to another one after that.
Yeah.
And the social worker turned up the morning of the hearing, and she said that she wanted to discuss something with me because I was acting as a litigant in person. And I thought, 5 minutes before the actual hearing, you knock on my door to stress me out and put fear into me, like, I feel like you're going to take my son right here, right now. And I said, well, I'm joining the Zoom now, so...
Yeah, let me interrupt you in there. It's funny that you say that. And let me tell you that our case, my son was kidnapped by Southampton City Council. But the people from Southampton, they would have to go through the court proceedings in Portsmouth. And I know that the people from Portsmouth, they would have to go to the court in Southampton. All of this is made in purpose. So, and I remember that there was one situation that we were in court in Portsmouth. And right minutes before the court proceeding, the social worker comes near me and Leon, and she tries to handle me an envelope, and Leon says, Iolanda, don't accept it because it's none of our business. It's like, what's going on now? We are here. What's going on? What is this? And we didn't receive whatever she was trying to do. So I can see that whatever she was trying to do with you, someone has done that with me as well.
Yeah, well, as soon as I received a bundle from, which I found out now was an illegal bailiff, I opened the door and the bailiff said, I said, I'm not taking that, so he threw it on the floor.
Like us.
And he said, that's served now.
Exactly.
So I sent all that back and said I don't consent. Then I phoned the family court with the reference number that they gave me. I've recorded that too. And when I read out the reference number, they said, are you so-and-so? Like, for example, are you Mr. and Mrs. Smith? And I said, no. So my name wasn't connected to the reference number. So I did that one day, and I done it again the next day. And then the third time, I seen the social workers at the hub, and they got kind of like wind of it, so they changed it. On the third time I rang the court, they said, oh yeah, we can, we've got your name to that reference number now. So there was no record of my name attached to that reference number, case number. But it was a reference number to start off with, and it changed to a case number.
And what we mean with this is that it's all...
And I said to her, I said, is this normal procedure? I said that, when someone phones up and you can't find... She's like, oh, I've never had this before. And I was like, oh, really? So I was like, she's like, oh, yeah, it's really unusual. So I was like, oh, yeah, this has never happened before. And she's like, no, I can't understand. Yeah, so that's why I got suspicious of them, and I didn't want to engage with them because I just see them as criminals, really. And I let them see my son. I let the GP see my son for an hour. I did take Knox to the social workers at the hub with my mother so that they could see Knox for an hour. And they sat there, they weren't asking Knox any questions. So I said, what am I doing here with my son if you're not asking him any questions?
Yeah.
Like, they had the opportunity
to ask him if he's well, if the mother's treating him well, if the mother has
Yeah.
mental issues.
They had the chance to observe him.
Yeah.
They could have said to me, do you mind if we take Knox out of the room and have a chat with him? I would have said yeah, but I would have stood outside the door.
Yeah.
They didn't even ask to do that. So I said, why are we here if you're not going to ask Knox any questions?
Yeah. So the things they went on, and I believe that you have been invited to court, and
so there's a video actually on my Facebook of the social workers that actually came down. So I said to them, if I let you see my son, because I want an end to this, so I thought if I let them see my son, see that he's okay, and maybe they might say, we need to see you every week or so to make sure, I don't know. But they still continued with court proceedings. So I didn't understand that. So my mum took Knox home, and then they wanted to come down and see my house. So I agreed to that. And then when they did come down and see my house, they weren't actually interested in anything that was connected to Knox. They didn't want to see his room. They didn't want to go upstairs and look around. They didn't want to go out and look in the garden. The only comment that they made was that the property was very large and had a lot of land. And then the social worker said, you've been invited to court. Invited? I said, yeah, invited. Invited. An invitation means you can decline, right?
Exactly.
So I've recorded this. So the hearing on the 28th of July, I wrote to the court and I declined their offer to attend court.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, I'm declining your offer to attend court today. I took my son away on holiday because we were being harassed every day, and it was very stressful and upsetting for both of us.
Yeah.
And that's when things escalated and become far worse.
Like in my case, when we went to Jodah's home, they have written that me and Leon, we abscond, and abscond is a legal term to run away.
Yeah, that's what they said to me. They reported me as a missing person. So I said to my family, I'm going away on holiday. I'll be back around the 9th of August, which was in the year of 2021. And I declined the invitation to attend court by email. Served them an affidavit too. And they got the emergency protection order in my absence. Then they went to my home. So I was already in Manchester on the 28th of July, around, say, 1 o'clock.
So let me say that the social service involved is Bristol. Your home is around Bristol.
Bristol, yeah.
And you were in holidays in Manchester.
Yeah, we went to Manchester to see friends to remove ourselves from the stress of being harassed daily by various social workers.
And you received an emergency protection order. And
no, I didn't receive it. So they got the emergency protection order at court in my absence, but I was never actually served it.
Okay.
So to this day, I've never been served with an emergency protection order. And I will state for the camera that I, Kelly Jefferies, have never been served with any proceedings issued by the family court to date.
Yeah.
So I put them to strict proof to provide evidence of proof of service. Okay. So yes, they did that in my absence, and then I got word on the street that it was not safe to come home because they've changed the locks to my house and put a note on the door to say that
Who changed the lockers on your house?
Yeah, they changed. So the social workers and the police went to my home address whilst I was in Manchester to kidnap Knox, I guess, I assume, with the emergency protection order, which was unsigned, not signed by the judge or sealed by the court. So I believe under section 135, the Council for the Children's Children's Services, they falsely pretended to act under the authority of the court. So, to my knowledge and my belief, they are
acting illegally,
using their own software in their own building of their place of business to create a fictitious court order, and they're rubber stamping it. So that particular document at the beginning, the C110 application and then the emergency protection order, didn't even see inside a court.
And it's not just yours, Kelly. Mine has never been signed, no paperwork is signed, and no paperwork has a stamp of the court. And my case even has more than one serial number, the court case.
Yeah, mine does too. So initially, for the C110 application, there was a reference number, and then it changed to a case number. So it is just rubber stamped. A seal should be embossed, but I don't think they emboss them only in the higher courts. So it should have a seal with a date in the middle, the name of the court and a date going through the middle of the seal. But that, in my opinion, that's still not authentic enough. It should be embossed. But the application and the emergency protection order don't have that. It's just a rubber stamp.
So they go to your home, they go to your house, the police and the social services,
with that document, I guess.
With those false paperwork. It's not documents, it's just paperwork, it's just papers, nothing else.
Tissue paper.
And because your son is not in there,
because my son and I aren't there, what they did, they broke into our home and they changed the locks. So, to force us, so if we come back from wherever we are, we have to phone, we have to walk to the police station, which was behind my house, and we have to ask for the keys back, upon which they would have arrested me and taken my son in.
But I don't know nothing about law, but if the police does not have a warrant, if you're not a criminal, can the police damage the door of your house and change your own lockers?
They can if it's for loss of limb, if there's someone's at risk of death. So if there's a risk of someone dying, loss of limb, they can. But what was the actual risk? What was the emergency? You can't just fabricate an emergency and say, we're going to break into someone's house. You must have evidence of that emergency. So what was the emergency that they needed to break into my home and change the locks?
And they said that they kept the keys. If you want to go back to the... How can you say, how did they say to you?
So they left a note sellotaped to the front door saying, if they changed the locks, you need to go to the police station to get the keys. Because they've changed the locks, different keys, so I wouldn't have been able to get in.
If you want to go back to your home, you need to go to the police and get the keys.
Yeah. And then they went to my parents, a riot van and numerous police officers stomped down her path and throw the court order at them. So they gave it to my parents.
They went in and harassed your parents.
Yeah, they harassed my parents. And then they said that my parents weren't allowed, my sister and my mother weren't allowed into my property when I gave them permission to go in there and check everything was okay whilst I was away on holiday. And they said that it would be trespassing. Now, the reason they didn't want my mother or sister going into the property was because they were probably living in there themselves. Maybe not like full time, but they were in and out of the property to see if I was coming back. Yeah. So I think they were waiting in there for me to come back.
Yeah.
So if I came back, they would be in there.
Yeah.
And I've been told that by witnesses, that they were in and out of my house.
So you are out with your son. You know that they went inside your home. You don't know what's the state of your home. You don't have the keys to your own house. They have scared the hell of your parents. I'm sure that your head is completely...
Well, I initially went away on holiday. And then, like I told you, I got word on the street that it wasn't safe to go back. I was under the impression that my door had been taken off by the battery ram. But that wasn't the case. But that's the impression I got. So I thought, I'm not going home because I was scared.
Of course you were. Of course.
So we were very scared and frightened. And then obviously we had people helping us to stay safe. And everywhere we went, the police would turn up. So we would do like an escape.
So they were following
They were following us, yeah.
They were able, through the phones, through the conversation, or whatever was happening, they were able to know where you were. But you were still able to move around. Yeah,
and I did want to...
move around because they wanted your son. You know that your son was going to be about to be kidnapped.
Yeah.
What's the way that they...
And the way they were acting, behaving, frightened me even more because I just felt like I had committed a murder because why would they behave like that?
Yeah. The ones that they are out there supposedly to protect us.
Yeah, so you know, I don't even think they hunt a serial killer down like that, do they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least the pedophiles, they are out there, aren't they?
Yeah.
So how did the police decide to do then? To find you?
I think, so basically they reported me as a missing person and they plastered my son and I all over the, media, the news. As a missing person.
National TV.
Yeah.
This is very important because I have shared pictures of mothers, and I've seen that what they say in England is that this mother is missing and this mother is dangerous. And what I have actually written on Facebook is, if you see this mother, protect this mother because they are trying to kidnap her son. And what they are doing is just to find the mother to kidnap the son. So that's exactly what they have done to you. You are not a missing person.
No.
But they will report you on the national TV as a missing person. So now if you go on a shop to get some milk or bread, that person can actually report you because the police is looking for you.
Yeah, but also bearing in mind, I wasn't served with this emergency protection order. So when I went away, I wasn't doing anything wrong because there was no court order in place. And there's no court order anyway because it's not signed, it's not sealed.
Yeah.
It's a counterfeit document. So I've not committed a crime.
Yeah.
But they arrested me when they caught up with me on a campsite in Somerset. They arrested me for, initially it was kidnapping my own son. And I said, well, you can't kidnap your own son.
You were accused of kidnapping your own son.
Yeah. So they said that, initially they said the charge was kidnapping of your own son. But then it changed to, I took my son away from the responsible person.
But Kelly, I'm sorry. So you run away because you can see that the way the things they are doing is completely out of the mind, like it's something really wrong. Then they report you as a missing person, and then actually when they grab you, they say that you are kidnapping your son.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. The reason I felt scared of social workers is because they were stood outside my house, and I've never met them before, and they were saying, we need to hear your son's voice. And that just caused alarm bells to me, and I just thought, well, I felt sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
Why do you need to hear my son's voice? Why are you so obsessed with my son?
Yeah.
I felt physically sick.
Yeah, because you know that they are constructing a story.
So with them coming down, several times a week, unnecessary, I just felt I needed to get away from the stress. So initially we did go away on holiday, and we were going to come back. Then it escalated, like I said, and we became frightened. So we stayed away longer. But I did want to come home.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted to come back.
Yeah, and when the people they are listening to you, and the people they are sitting comfortably with their kids around, having a cup of tea, and judging. Oh, the mother is struggling with the social services and courts, and now the mother decides to go on holidays. And what do you expect? The mother has the right to protect the son, and has the right to run away to where she is alright, where she feels alright, because at the moment in your own home, you know that it's not a protected place. You know that they can come for your son.
But I wouldn't really say it was running away initially, because I wrote to the court that morning and I declined their invitation, and the social worker confirmed to me it was an invitation. I declined the invitation to attend court. So I told them I'm not coming to court. So I didn't see it as I was running away. I didn't know that they were going to continue in my absence and get the court order.
You know that you were dealing with criminals.
That's not lawful, is it? To continue with a hearing without the man or woman present. It's not lawful, is it?
Yeah, because if you're not contracting with them, then they don't have a case.
They don't have
nothing.
They
don't have nothing. And because there is nothing, you have not committed the crime. They don't have nothing against you, so you are allowed to go wherever you want to go.
Yeah. So they were forcing me to contract with them, and because I wasn't contracting with them, they came down harder on me.
Because you didn't get the hook.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
So now,
and then when they arrested me, they'd already kidnapped my son.
So Kelly, you said that you were in a camping.
Yeah, we were in a caravan, staying in a caravan.
And the police got to know that you were in there.
Mhm.
Can you? I know that is hard, but can you? I'm sure that is present in your memory, and I want people to know, what do they do? How do they do? Can you go through that, please?
Sorry. So Notts was out playing on his bike with his friend, and I seen his friend running up the road with his hoodie. So I looked out the window, she was screaming and crying, and I thought, she's got Notts' hoodie, so maybe he's had an accident. So I went to the caravan door, and loads of police officers ran up to the door, and I just thought, they've taken Notts now. And she just said, "Are you Kelly Jefferies?" And I didn't say anything. I just turned away and walked back into the caravan, because I thought, what do I do now? And then they just all piled on me, pushed me down on the settee, and sprayed my eyes with Parva. P-A-V-A. Is it Parva? Parva or Parva? I think it's Parva.
How many policemen there were on top of you?
I can't really remember. I think at least two. I seen several. It was all women. They were just all in black.
How many policemen they were in there to get you and to get your son?
There seemed to be a few there, but actually in the caravan, I can't really remember, to be honest. I can't say, because
it's all.
It happened really quick.
Yeah.
there was more than two there.
Yeah.
And obviously I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Straight away they disabled me. I couldn't see, so I couldn't see anything. I was in a lot of pain.
And
yeah, it's very painful.
What goes through your mind when these happen?
So they handcuffed me immediately and sprayed me in the eyes with the parva. So I didn't have time to resist arrest.
That part of the thing that you are saying is that was spray when what was that? Did you feel
so they just spray
your
it
eyes?
directly in? Yeah, they spray. It's just a spray. They spray it directly in your eyes, and it is very painful when you can't see.
But did you resist them for them to do that?
No, I didn't know they were going to do that either. So they pushed me down on the settee in the caravan, handcuffed me and sprayed me. So people said to me, you must have resisted arrest, but I didn't have time to resist arrest. Yeah. I told you what I just did. I stood in the caravan door. Yeah. I turned my back on them because I thought, what do I do? I kind of didn't know what to do in that split moment. And then they just followed me, pushed me down into the caravan's small anyway. There's a very small space. Pushed me down in the corner, handcuffed me immediately, and sprayed me in the face. So I didn't have time to resist arrest. And then they dragged me outside the caravan, and I was in a lot of pain. The pain is horrendous.
From your eyes?
Mm-hmm. And I remember having a bottle of water in the caravan, so I was screaming to them to get me the water so I could put it on my eyes so they were burning. Yeah. And they just said to me I was a drama queen.
Oh my God.
They did get the water eventually, and I just poured it all over my head.
Yeah.
And I was soaking wet. It's like a squash bottle.
Yeah.
And then I was placed into the back of the police car. And my son is already gone by then.
And you haven't seen him?
Well, I didn't see him for a long time after, no.
How long did you not see him?
I did see him on a Zoom. A couple of days after.
Were you arrested on that time? Were you arrested? Were you put into prison? What happened in there?
Yeah, I was arrested, taken to a police station, and I was locked up for just under 30 hours.
You were arrested for 30 hours?
Yeah, just under. I don't know why I was locked up for that amount of time. I don't know.
Have you been told that you have your rights, or I don't know, all those things that people see in the movies?
I honestly can't remember. I can't say I did, and I can't say I can't remember. It happened so quick.
Did you do a phone call?
I think the station contacted my family, yeah.
And your parents?
Yeah, they were very upset.
So you are arrested, then you come out, and what happens after? So you said that you stay quite a long time without seeing your son.
Yeah. I don't want to comply with criminals, and I was asking to see my son, and they kind of like messed me about. They mess you about with the times. When I first got back from being arrested, I should have contact the legal department really, but I said to the social worker that I wanted the bundle, which I sent back.
What are the accusations that they have against you, right? Because until now you don't have no paperwork, nothing.
No, I don't have any paperwork. The issues were I don't trust solicitors. And they were asking me to. They gave me a list of solicitors to choose a solicitor off the list.
Yeah.
Now, the judge's wife was on the list. So as soon as I seen the judge's wife on the list, I didn't want to instruct a solicitor from that list. And I don't trust solicitors, so I didn't get a solicitor.
How did you know that he was the wife? Was the same surname? How do you know that?
Yeah, it's the same surname, and it was his wife, yeah. I know, you can't make this up.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's the reason I didn't get a solicitor off the list. And And then when I tried to get a solicitor off the list, when I contact them, they don't ring me back because they blacklisted me, because my face has been all over social media and in the news, I'm kind of blacklisted. So whenever I phone a solicitor, they don't want to know the case. Or it's either they don't want to know the case, or they are telling them not to help me. And I've even phoned ones like, say, up north, and I still get the same treatment.
Because you were the criminal one, the one that was reported on the TV, everywhere. Yeah. The nasty mother that is running away with the son.
They made me actually the mother from hell.
They did say that you had mental issues.
Yeah. I'm the mother from hell.
So now that they have arrested you, now that they have taken your son, now the only way that you can get your son back is deal with this and try to do some paperwork and deal with these people and try to get a solicitor. But no one is helping you now.
No, but in my opinion, before you instruct a solicitor, you need to validate the authenticity of the paperwork. So that's what I did. Mm-hmm. I served a constructive notice and demand to the court to validate, the proceedings, the court order. I mean, I've never been served with the emergency protection order, so you don't jump from A to Z, do you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the proceedings are counterfeit. They're counterfeit in the authority of the court. So they're using fear and coercion to force me to comply.
Yeah, and your son was kidnapped because they have used the force and fraudulent papers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the legal term for kidnap.
Yeah. So they haven't proven their authority. It's all fraud.
So when you have the paperwork or when you read that stuff, that I'm telling you, when I read the paperwork the first time, I was like, wow, if it happened with me, I would believe this, because the way they have done it is they really construct a story and it all goes along the lines. So if it wouldn't have happened with me, I wouldn't believe it. And it's all so twisted. Everything's so twisted, everything's so nasty, so disgusting, that it's horrible. It creates really a physical pain. Is disgusting. You really want to vomit when you're reading those things, because these people, they have to be very sick in their mind to be able to do these things.
Mm. So most of what they wrote about me was happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. Way past, way before my son was born.
So what they are using?
Did
you kill anyone?
No. My ex and I had a volatile relationship, but we didn't have any children. And I separated from Knox's father when he was 18 months.
So they are actually using...
They're using the fact that his father and I had a volatile relationship.
Oh my God.
So just things from the past that are irrelevant now. And I said to them, that's irrelevant now. We've moved on. We're in 2000, Knox was born in 2011. We're now in 2021. This is 10, 15, 20 years ago.
So that's actually what they are using against you.
Yeah.
You have mental issues.
History.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so yeah.
Is anything else in there? Do they
use
the famous words, the future of emotional harm?
Yes, that's the one, yeah. Future. So they were using future significant harm.
Future.
Yeah, future significant harm.
Actually, the harm that they have done to you and your son, what they have been put you through, moving from one place to another, putting their face on national TV,
of course,
smashing their home and changing the lockers and all that nastiness. That is not harm. Only you. So, and you have been punished by the same as I. Is future emotional harm. When the future does not exist, we have not committed a crime.
Yeah.
And that's how they used to create a case where there is no case, where there is nothing.
Yeah, so raised my son for 10 years without any problems, and then they come along and think they've got the right to, intervene in your private life and just drag up everything from your past if they can, and use anything they possibly can to tarnish your name.
Were you able to get a solicitor later on or not?
No, I don't trust them. At the end of the day, there's no case. Yeah. The court can't provide the case management file, the proceedings, so there's nothing on record. So they're saying to me that I needed to discharge the care order, and I asked them, is there a care order to discharge in the first place? And they just went quiet. Mm-hmm. So if there's no court order in the first place, what am I discharging? Mm-hmm. No judge, no man or woman has put their wet ink signature to that court order and put their mind to it and made it legitimate. So why do I need a solicitor? Why do I need to go back to court? And then they're saying now, because it's been so long, that my son is settled, and he would need to be rehabilitated back to me. But did they rehabilitate my son into care? They just snatched him and forced him to.
So now they have separated him from you, and now they are saying he's settled?
Yeah.
So how long from your arrest, how long has happened until you see him back again? You have told me before.
I had 1 or 2 Zooms, and then
1 year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was over a year. It was over a year. I had to be assessed. So
18 months. Sorry, I haven't in here 18 months without seeing.
Yeah, so I had to be assessed to have contact with him.
So 18 months. It's 1
so
year.
In the court order, it said that I wasn't allowed to see my son. So I had to be assessed to see him.
So your son is, how old was he when you were arrested?
10 and a half.
So a kid that is 10 years, that knows that the police is concerned with the mother, and has been 1 year without seeing how the mother is.
They blame me for that.
Yeah,
I was asking. They blame me because I wouldn't engage with their nonsense, and they were playing games. Yeah. Now I don't play games. I'm not into games.
Yeah.
I was emailing them, asking to see my son. I printed off the emails. Yeah. To prove this. And then by then it's got messy anyway. I can't get a solicitor.
But what did they say to you to not let you see your son?
They said I needed to be assessed, so I was assessed. And then after assessment, I could see him again.
Is that a psychological assessment?
No, it was just a formal assessment with the manager.
Okay. And
quite formal, really.
Were you able to see your son then? But Kelly, what I mean is, in 1 year, I'm sure that you have asked for your son. I want to see my son. I want to see my son.
I told them to return my son.
What do they say to you every time that they deny you to see him?
Yeah, I kept asking them. My mum said, bring him round, drop him round. And all you get from them is you've got to go through the process. You must go through their process. If you don't go through their process, then you can't see your son. But show me a lawful court order first, and then I'll go through your process. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So you're forced by fear and coercion to comply with counterfeit documents.
Yes. They use your own son against you.
Yeah, prove your authority first, and then I'll comply.
Yeah. Were your parents able to see their grandson?
No, they're not been able to see.
So you don't know where is your son. You don't know how your son is being treated. You don't know absolutely nothing about your son. Now, today, you know that your son has been told something completely different.
Yes. Yeah. So I said to them, you know, my son has been kidnapped, it's theft, return my son. But they refuse.
And what has Knox been told for the mother to not appear during 1 year?
Well, he's not been told. He doesn't know what's gone on, does he?
I have no idea that you later on, when you met him, he has said to you, he has accused you that you did not want to see him.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
So when you see your child on Zoom, you are not allowed to say what you want. Because if you do say what you want, they will stop the Zoom. So I can't say to Knox, I've been emailing to ask to see you. I've told them to return you because the order is counterfeit. They will just shut you down. So you can't say that. You're restricted to what you can say.
So when after you finally see your son and everything you want to say to him is, I love you, I have been trying to see you for all these years, but they don't let me. But you have been threatened that if you say that, the contact will finish.
They will shut it down. If it's not all positive, then they will shut you down. Yeah. And I stupidly, foolishly named the judge on Facebook and the police officer. So they had a charge against me for malicious communications. So I had to go to Crown Court. Then I was in court for taking my son away from the responsible person. And I was arrested for not attending court when I was inside the courtroom. Then I was arrested, police assaulted me, and then I got accused of assault on a police officer, so I was charged with that. So they continuously target you and put charges on you to keep you busy, so that distracted, so that you can't fight for your son.
Yeah.
Or you continue fighting, but they say, oh, whilst you're dealing with that, we won't be doing that with you. So I asked for my mum to be assessed. Oh, well, not at the moment. And also, if you get upset, you need to regulate your emotions. So I was asked in the contact with Knox to not show any emotions at all. And could I read off a script?
So imagine when your son is 10 years, has not been seen the mother for more than a year, and suddenly sees not his mother, but a statue without emotions. Can you imagine what goes on in the mind of a 10 years old? They are emotionally harm you and your son. There is no doubt about this. They are psychopaths. They know exactly what they are doing. They are distressing you. They are distressing your son. They are destroying a family life.
Oh yeah, they've definitely done that. For the first year of me not seeing my son, rightly or wrongly, I kind of blocked it out of my mind. It was very painful.
Yeah, you learn to deal with the pain.
Yeah, and then it hit me all of a sudden, like, oh, where's my son, you know? But I was fighting for my son, but in my own way, exposing them.
Yeah.
When someone's committed a crime against you, you have the lawful right to expose what they've done to you to the public.
Yeah.
Right? But people, obviously, that watch what you're doing may disagree. and think, well, you should just be complying and doing as you're told.
Yes, but you know that you are innocent. You know they are.
But a crime has been committed against Knox and I. So if I want to expose them, I should have that right.
Yes.
But I would punish for doing that.
Yeah.
Punish, yeah.
So later on, when would you like to? I don't know if you want to do it, so I will just mention, and then you do it whatever you want to do. But would you like to share about that earpiece and about that moment when you were playing bowling, or do you not want to mention that?
I'm not sure at the moment.
Okay. So
I definitely believe that my son is being coached on what to say.
Yes. And that is possible, because if they say to us, you cannot say to your son that you love him, and if you do this, we're going to interrupt you know that they can do that to him too. That is possible.
Yeah, so I can say I love him. I'm just not allowed to talk about, I believe it's a fake court order. In the beginning, I put posters up of Knox around Bristol, looking for him, and I'm not allowed to tell him that. So, he's only getting one side of the story, and I know with children you've got to be careful of how you present the information to them.
Yeah.
But I was frustrated after so long, and I thought, Knox needs to know. So now I've been penalised from going from the bowling to a contact centre, so they can control it even more. And after this video, they may even stop me from seeing him.
Because you have been seeing him, haven't you?
Yeah, every 6 weeks for 2 hours.
Okay. So we talk about it if you're going to do it or not. That's why I always say this is a very strong mother, because he's giving voice to her son, and there is always a risk. My baby was taken with 5 days old. I don't see Santiago since he was 1 month old. And I was punished because I was showing everywhere the crimes that they have committed against me.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Yes, so I have been punished. So there is always that risk. But still, we are doing this because someone needs to do something. The mothers, they have to give voice to the children. We have to lose the fear, because if BBC talks about Georgia's scandal of child trafficking, we need another country. We need journalists from another country to expose what is going on in England. Have you tried, Kelly, to contact BBC?
Well, no, I haven't, but I doubt that they would take it on. I think I did, actually, but I did contact some newspapers when I came back after being arrested, but they didn't respond back. But
we need definitely other country to do this, because we know that BBC is not going to do it. BBC are just share on the social media.
The BBC are corrupt, aren't they? They're
yeah, BBC in England is well known for British bullshit. How is it? British BBC corrupt. British bullshit and corruption. I think it's like that. So BBC is well known for the connection with Jimmy Savile and all of that. So they have protected him. So I really hope that a journalist that has the courage to expose England will listen carefully to all these mothers, and finally will give voice to these mothers, because in England about probably 3 years ago, the mothers from the 70s, 80s, they came on BBC saying that their babies, they were kidnapped and they were force adopted. But this is still happening.
Yeah, but where are all these mothers? They're not speaking up, are they? Because they're too scared. I mean, after mothers hear the way that I've been treated, they'll probably be even more scared, because I face charge after charge after charge. And all I've been doing is exposing the crimes committed against my son and I. And why should you comply when there's no legitimate court order? Why should you? They're acting ultra vires, and like,
when they are going against your rights.
If every parent, mother and father, said, you know, I'm not complying, we're not doing this, these courts would collapse.
Yeah. And you know, I have been warning on my social media what is happening in the country where I am now. I can see what is happening. I can see what they are saying on the TV. The salaries, they are low. They keep publicizing fostering. And I can see that many children, they will go through this path if the people, they don't wake up. England now is, I think that is happening. I can see that it's happening in here too. But I still had a voice in Portugal, and I believe that I was allowed to speak in Portugal as to families. This is what we are doing. What are you going to do about it? And that's it. But
It's kidnap and theft of your offspring, isn't it? And there's loads of videos circling at the moment. Social services are a foreign corporation, international corporation. So what does a foreign international corporation have claim over our children? Why are they claiming they've got a claim over our children? Are you still there?
I am here, yeah. They don't have no right on our children. That's why we are getting forces from most of the people. They don't even imagine what we have been through, the pain that we have been inflicted, what it is every single day to come out of the bed and to have to deal with these, and still.
Yeah, this is a poor connection at the moment. You're frozen.
I'm frozen, but I can hear you. That's all right. No worries. This is probably.
You're still there, yeah.
I am here. Yeah. No worries. It's still good.
Yeah. So
Kelly,
they're claiming to be a branch of the government.
If you. Kelly, we have about like 1 hour and 22, so I think you have explained it all very well. I would say, Kelly,
how do we get these children back? That's the question, you know, how do we get them back? We've proven there's no authority of the court. It's all fair enough saying, oh, you need to discharge the court order, but what court order? I mean, every mother and father that have had their offspring lawfully removed from them, we deserve due process of the law.
Yeah.
If we've committed a crime against our children, if they say we have, then where's the crime reference number from the police? Why aren't the police investigating the crimes that we've committed? Why haven't we been brought before a real court of law?
Yeah.
In front of a jury of our, our peers. They're just doing it in private, in the family court.
So at the moment, what do they say to you? What you need to do?
They say there's not in full-time foster care. There's a foster care placement order.
Yeah.
I can discharge it if I want, but what is there to discharge? I've not actually ever set foot in a courtroom.
Yeah.
So I was never served the emergency protection order. The application I was served by an illegal bailiff has not been through the court. But then, like, months down the line, they produce a court order from the court and with a seal with the date through the middle. But I'm sorry, if the first documents haven't been through the court process, then there's no point, then that's null and void.
Yeah, yeah.
Providing documents several months down the line with an alleged authentic court seal.
Yeah.
How about the beginning?
Are they offering you any solution, like I don't know, like you have to go on a psychologist to prove that you are all right to get your son back? Are they providing you any solution at all?
For the sake of my son, I said I'm willing to engage with them.
Yeah.
Even though there's counterfeit proceedings, I'm willing to engage with them to rehabilitate my son back to me. Yes. But they won't engage with me now.
So now they have your son and that's it? No.
Yeah, they're punishing you.
Yeah, so they are not providing you any solution to get your son back?
No.
Okay.
Just see him every 6 weeks. Sort out your emotions.
Sort out.
Yeah, sort out your emotions. 1 minute you're not allowed to show emotions, and then in the next breath you're too overly emotional.
Yeah.
So they accuse you, you can't regulate your emotions.
Yeah. This is outrage. The way they do the things is horrible.
But my son has been torn from me. I spent every day with my son since he was discharged from NICU in 2011. So to have him torn from me is torture. And I may not have dealt with it correctly or how they wanted me to in the beginning, but I was traumatised.
They have taken your son. There is no correct way.
Yeah, I was traumatised. And like I said, they didn't prove their authority.
Yeah, of course.
But in my eyes, they were criminals.
Yes, of course, Kelly. But don't.
So why on earth would I want to engage with criminals? Yes. I told them, you kidnapped my son. It's theft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Return my son.
Yeah.
If you can't prove your authority, and give me a court order that is signed by a judge in wet ink, sealed by the court, been through the court process, and you've given me due process of the law, then why should I engage with you?
Now, Kelly, the last time that you saw your son, how is he? How is he doing? Do you notice any difference on the personality? How is he?
No, our bond is still as strong. And I feel like he is upset because he can't say what he wants to say. So he's restricted, I'm restricted. It's quite sad, really.
Yeah, because you are never left alone together.
But I'm complying because I love my son.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose contact with him. But I'm doing this video today because it does need exposing. And I hope other mothers and fathers have the strength to come forward, like me, and join us with the battle, because this is child trafficking behind the guise of child protection services, falsifying the authority of the court, which they don't have the rights to do. It's criminal behaviour.
Yes.
They're committing crimes all the time, every day, against innocent mothers and fathers and children, and it does need to stop.
Yeah. Kelly,
but yeah,
now,
my son's not the same.
I'll give you the last words, and they are for your son, I think. If your son sees this video, what do you want to say to him?
I love him, obviously.
All you are doing is for him. You are here for him.
Mummy is heartbroken.
But he's going to put all the pieces together, and like he has been doing, you have been doing all every day.
And Mummy is heartbroken. And I'm sorry if I didn't handle it the way I should have. But like I said, you just get conflicting information. You get some parents that engage fully. They get the same outcome. I don't think is a no-win situation. No matter what you do, you can't win. If they've got one agenda to take your child and not give them back, whatever you do is not going to make a difference. So yeah, I love you infinity, Knox, and I hope one day we are reunited.
I'm sure you will. because he knows who you are, and I just pray for him to be strong on his mind, to go through what he's been through every single day. And
he's certainly strong. He's probably stronger than me.
You are very strong.
But we just want I just want to be a mother, and to live our lives in peace without the corruption. That's all we want, all of us.
Yes.
The right to a peaceful family life.
Yes.
And that is our inalienable right.
Yes, of course.
We don't have human rights. They've stripped us of our human rights, but we have inalienable rights. Even God doesn't tell us what to do. And for them, social workers to come down and demand that I do this and I do that.
Yeah, child trafficking, and they need to lie to do paperwork, so then and how they win is because they say to the majority that we are protecting children, and they put your picture on the TV, national TV, saying she has mental issues, she's a dangerous mother, and that's how they manage to do all these things. Kelly, I want to say that I'm very proud of you, because you have been through hell, and I cannot imagine, like I say, my son was a baby when he was taken, but I cannot imagine what it is to have a 10 years old taken, going through what you have been through, and you had your routine, going through your room, seeing that he's not there, seeing the other kids growing, and not seeing him every day, not knowing how he is. I cannot imagine what he's like. And I really want you to say that. Carry on, please. You're not alone. And you are an amazing mother. You have been through hell, and you are here. Knox, I really hope that you are a very strong boy, and you are able to resist to all this nightmare. And I am sure that you and your mother, they're going to reunite, and they're going to be very happy, and the best is still to come. Okay, Kelly? I'm sure about that.
You.
Kelly, thank you so much for this, and I really want to invite everyone, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. Please leave your comment below, give the support to this mother. Kelly, if you want to leave your email, please. Do you have any email? If a journalist from another country wants to contact you to expose what's going on.
Yeah. Do you want me to give it to you now?
Yeah, just say it, please.
Yeah, it's Kelly MJ, JAYE, 1 at gmail.com.
Okay. So,
and can I just say that if there was a mother or father with, minor mental health issues, taking their child away is not going to solve anything. Like, how about working with that, that man or woman, and treating them with compassion and empathy?
But that has never been the issue, and they know what they are doing.
Yeah, it's all about money.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of money they spend on fostering, adoption, and because the condition of my house was like an issue to them. How about using that money, to help the family stay together, rather than paying some stranger X amount of pounds a week to look after that child? How about keeping him in his home with his family and his mother, and supporting them financially? It's all wrong. None of us are perfect, but my child was loved for 10 years, loved. You can see that from photos and videos. And he's not come to any harm in 10 years by me.
Yeah.
And that is regardless if I had like a low day or, a bad day.
Yeah.
My son always came first.
Yes. Do you want to share his picture in here in the video?
How do I do it?
Do you have a picture around in there? A frame? No, just in your house. Do you have a frame around? Because you share your pictures on your social media, so.
Oh no, I don't know. Not at hand.
Okay, that's all right. No issues. People, they will have a look on your social media.
Yeah, I'm Kelly Jefferies on Facebook and Kelly Jefferies 1 on TikTok. There's loads of videos on there and evidence of like my injuries from the police when they arrested me, because I had bruises from there, from there up to my fingertips. My arms were black. From the handcuffs were too tight and they were pulling me. And their paperwork, nothing is signed, nothing.
Kelly, thank you so much for this interview, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And I really hope that this will give the courage to so many other mothers.
Yeah,
to
I hope
come
so.
forward.
We want to hear your stories.
Yes. Kelly, thank you.
Thank you.
And carry on being strong, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.